Oh man, we are only a month away from the final season, second season of Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor Who, and we know very little about the show. It's kind of crazy, right? Because we at least had a rough outline of what the maiden voyage for the 15th Doctor was going to look like, but this time around, we don't really have that much of an overarching story. Like, we know that it's going to be a very diverse Tardis with Verada Sethu taken over for the eminently more attractive Millie Gibson. But because the BBC, I don't know, wants to check even more boxes, they want to go with an Indian and a black guy, or I'm sorry, a British woman and a Scottish man on an intergalactic voyage where they can also find more bad white people. Is that what we're doing? Cool, big shock on that one. Really stretching your creative muscles there, RTD. But now you've added Freddie Fox as a new villain in Series 15 of Doctor Who. And let me just go ahead and ask the question that many of you out there are going to as well. Who? Yeah, no, exact. Freddie Fox. He's the second Gwaine Corbray. I'm sorry, not Gwaine Corbray. Where the hell did that one come from? But a Gwaine Hightower from House of the Dragon. Like, he didn't get his head caved in by Daemon Targaryen in the first episode of season 1. He was Kristen Cole's back talker when he was blackpilling in the second half of the second season, and also Alicent's brother. But yeah, that's the big names that they could come and lend their star power to this failing show. Okay, I guess. Like, he did a fine job. Like, Gwaine was an interesting enough character. It's just, this is your big get, huh? Somebody who would have got, 20th billing in House of the Dragon? Okay. He's appeared in fantasy epics on TV and Shakespearean tragedies on stage, but now Freddie Fox will be jumping aboard the TARDIS with the Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa. We should just call it Ncuti Gatwa, because he's not playing the Doctor, he's just playing himself. And Belinda Chandra Varada Setu for an adventure in time and space in the Series 15 of Doctor Who, which will air this year, April 21st or something like that. I can't remember specific, 19th, mid-April. There we go. Since his on-screen debut in 2009, Freddie has appeared in many TV hits, including The Gentleman, The Crown, The Great, Slow Horses, and most recently as Sir Gawain Hightower. In Hot Day in 2015, Freddie appeared as Freddie Baxter in Russell T Davies' Channel 4 drama Cucumber and Banana. I'm sure that one is just about as gay as the next show that Russell T Davies is going to be writing, because, well, it looks like, okay, for as much as they're bringing in other actors from other series and how they want to pay homage to the history of the Doctor because their attempt to captivate the modern audience has failed, there's one Doctor, and I guess maybe them trying to cast somebody who worked in Hot D and likely has more of a strong connection to Matt Smith. Maybe they're trying to get back another Doctor, but one that very much, oh boy, has a no desire, even though he does in fact love the series, in the form of Christopher Eccleston, who is a tremendous actor, by the way, and has a lot of love for the show. He might actually be getting his wish this time around. And well, here's a clip from him in, I think, 2013 or something like that. Sorry, not 2013, but 2023, and it's as relevant now as it's ever been.
You'd all love to see Christopher come back as the Doctor, right? See?
Yeah.
Now, what would have to happen for that to become a reality?
Sack Russell T Davies, sack Jane Tranter, sack Phil Collinson, sack Julie Gardner, and I'll come back.
Well, Chris, it looks like you might be around, and hell, you were around for the first reboot. You might be around for the second one, because RTD alludes that he may be out as Doctor Who showrunner after season 2. Mostly because there's not going to be a future of the series after season 2. After those, 6 episodes? Like, it's going to be over like that. Nobody's going to care, and it's just going to end up getting shelved. I don't know if they'll make a big song and dance about it, but it's Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor. He'll likely have a big song and... No, there's supposed to be the reality show bottle episode. So yeah, of course there's going to be a big song and dance. I wonder if that's going to be about as cringe as anything else that came out. I'd imagine it's going to be really, really bad, and I look forward to talking about it. And look forward to is definitely and not a synonym for dread and despair. But it's funny it's funny because RTD here, he's been running cover, and I think probably one of the dumbest things that he says was, traditionally shows, normally they don't get greenlit for another season until the complete season that's set to release has already run its course. Like, there's never been a history, okay? There's never been a track record of this in Hollywood or entertainment in general of series getting the go-ahead for multiple seasons at a go. Like, that just doesn't happen. So why would you anticipate that with Doctor Who? It's like, he's such a liar. And then it was also revealed that he was also going to be working on a new show on Channel 4. This was before the release date for season 2 had come out, and it's like everybody was set to depart in the very near future as the rumors of Ncuti Gatwa, A, filming a regeneration scene, and B, looking to relocate to Los Angeles because Hollywood offers are lining up for him, which I can totally believe, by the way, because at this point in time, it's about as reliable of a trope as the white guys being the bad guy as that Hollywood loves themselves an effeminate black guy, because, spoilers, they're just scared of black masculinity. Anthony Mackie's almost onto something, but at the same time, he's still very much a blue-pilled alpha. But we'll get to that later this week, I'd imagine. I got a different take than a lot of people out there when it comes to those clips. But we're talking about Doctor Who right now, and it's a very, very bleak future. Doctor Who has been embattled with a lot of controversy ever since the return of Russell T Davies as showrunner. Well, it goes back further than that, but yeah, definitely his tenure. There have been no high points, none at all whatsoever. Like, okay, it's not so much that he's ruining his own new creations, it's just you're also adding your stench of failure to David Tennant's 10th Doctor. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Who, yes, seemed to delight in transforming the show into something unrecognizable to longtime sci-fi viewers. Now, reports are that Disney is looking to replace him at the end of Ncuti Gatwa's second season. Interesting, because there's also rumors that Disney wants nothing more to do with Doctor Who after their second season. Like, okay, deuces, fine. It's more content that we could probably save a couple of bucks on because, yeah, we wanted it for D+, but it's not doing any ratings over there. And you take a look at what is doing ratings, and spoilers, it's nothing on Disney+. So, yeah, I'd imagine that they're probably going to be looking at cutting quite a few costs, and Doctor Who, it's got to be right up there, because you remember they commissioned 2 seasons at $100 million, and we've seen the ratings on the BBC side of things, and yeah, it does not warrant that $100 million, to say the least. Ratings for the 60th anniversary specials were already at the lowest on record for Doctor Who specials. Yes, good when compared to just regular fare. Well, not even like good, it was passable for regular fare, but they were up, especially compared to the dying days of Jodie Whittaker's run, 508, 483, yes, in the final special, The Giggle, receiving 4.62. As you can tell right there, tings weren't necessarily going out all that well. 2 was probably the high point, which wasn't really that good at all, but the first one had the heavy-handed trans allegory. Well, had the trans actor that was in there, and it firmly demolished the Doctor and Donna. And then the third one was just so retarded with the bi-generation, which is, of course, the escape hatch that people are trying to point to, going, oh yeah, cool. So yeah, if Ncuti ends up getting regenerated, that's why the rumors of David Tennant coming back, because he definitely doesn't have a Hollywood career anymore. He's more concerned about being an activist on UK shores. So yeah, go ahead and sign him up for another season. I'm sure he'd be down with that, and especially with the current direction there, if you don't want to change it all that much. With the new Doctor and Ncuti Gatwa, the Christmas special that followed these, yes, the church on Ruby Road saw a small uptick of 80,000 more people for a Doctor Who institution. The Christmas special, yeah, that's not good. But the audience quickly tuned out for each of the new season 1 episodes as they branded this a new Disney Plus iteration. Received many of the lowest ratings in Doctor Who history. Yes, the lowest came episode 7 of the 8-episode season. The Legend of Ruby Sunday posting a dismal 205 million for the overnight ratings. The finale saw a small uptick again, but yeah, of the top 10 worst viewed episodes of Doctor Who, I think Ncuti's got 6 of them, and when it comes to the top 5, he's got 4 of those places. All of the podium finishes, and whatever you'd get for, the 5th medal. It's probably covered in poop because he stuffs it up his ass. Now, the new Christmas special, Joy to the World, the last Doctor Who Christmas special, because there's not one in 2025, by the way, is reported to have the lowest overnight ratings for a Christmas special yet again. Yes, surpassing his own record. Congratulations. Now you could say that your Doctor is record-breaking, because you hold the 2 new lowest Christmas special ratings, and you even broke your own previous record, so congratulations on that. With such atrocious numbers, the BBC has stated that they are waiting until season 2's numbers come in to make any moves on Doctor Who being renewed or not. And it's not going to end up working out well for you, because they drug their feet on announcing when this was ultimately going to debut. It was shocking, man, because at this point in time, like, we already knew, like, everything was all set up for the first season. They were hyped for this. Disney was big up in this program, but now we just got that announcement a couple of weeks ago, and it was made during a random rugby event. Like, what? Okay. Like, back in the day, those could have been people that were enticed, and yeah, when they're not watching the game, they could go ahead and check out an episode of Doctor Who. There's been crossovers before, as somebody who does love himself some sports and who's also quite nerdy in certain effects. That's the type of marketing that would work, but now, like, selling whatever Doctor Who is right now to a sports-loving audience, yeah, that shit ain't gonna work. And if you think I'm harsh with some of my jokes, you just wait until you hear what the rugby audience has to say about what they could perceive about the Tardis. I don't know what accent that is, but it's not diverse enough for this cast for the final iteration of Doctor Who. As the BBC began to ramp up marketing for the new season, it's been revealed Russell T Davies has doubled down on identity politics and diversity. Yeah, the entire writer's room is full of gays and trannies. I wish I was joking. It's 1000% true. Yes, and not only that, but Juno Dawson is a very stunning and brave trans woman who has wrote some of the most egregious material you are likely to ever see, is going to be penning, I'm pretty sure it's like the reality show, the Eurovision inspired episode, which is just going to be AIDS, with fans grumbling that the season will likely be worse than the first. That's a high bar, man. High bar for cringe, but it could, whenever we think that a season 2 of something couldn't possibly be worse than the first, Rings of Power, it finds new and exciting ways to be new and exciting shades of shit. Davies appeared recently on David Tennant's podcast, really, joking that when his run ends, he won't go back a third time, and everybody's like, phew, thank God, man. It's not so much what you're doing to, Doctor Who anymore that is so toxic. It's like, if I have that on my screen any longer, I think my TV might catch an STD. Tennant replied he thought he wouldn't go back a second time either. Davies replied, that's very true, but I'm not getting younger, darling. Oh, I can't say what I'm thinking on this one, but you're far too old for that vernacular there, Russell. He continued, but I will need to slow down at some point. That'll come. Last time it was Stephen Moffat. That wasn't even a day's work. Like, right, off you go. He added, there's thinking about it. There's there's thinking about it. There's conversations about that. But it's hard. It's a tricky one. They better exist. But they better exist. Imagine I'm dead at the desk. The cliche would kill me. The implication is that Disney and BBC have had conversations about replacing him. There's talks going on for months, according to Tachyon Paul's podcast, who also says that Gatwa has voiced behind the scenes that he doesn't want to return without Davies, which would confirm the rumors of his exit after season 2 as well. And it's like, oh no, we'd be losing out on a crying, emotional, spastic doctor. Whatever would we do without him? According to inside sources, he says Disney is behind the push to make the change. Interesting. This is too woke. This is the line in the sand for Disney. Doctor Who. Okay. And any future showrunner would have to have Disney's blessing beyond being someone the BBC would pick for the show. He alleges Michael Sheen, who appeared in The Doctor's Wife, was high up on the list of potential showrunners, and that Disney is interested in having him on board. But all of this is contingent on this series not producing series low after series low rating, which looks highly likely because from what we've seen so far, it looks highly fucking cringe. Can't wait for it. So with all that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.